Hello and welcome back to Emperor of the Fading Suns. So this is something a little different because this isn't actually Emperor of the Fading Suns, this is the map editor. And that's because I wanted to set up a little sandbox on Byzantium Secundus to look at the issues of spies and assassins and stuff like that on Biz 2. Because especially if you play single player, I mean, you get used to seeing stacks like this where you've got like 20 spies all coming in and trying to kill your noble. So I decided to muck about and see what I could do as far as developing defenses for a nobleman and how to do that effectively. Especially useful if you're playing multiplayer or something like that, where you've got a house rule where you can't pull your nobles off Biz 2 and like park them in orbit or something like that. But I think this also would be useful in single player just to deal with the hordes that will inevitably come and like try to infiltrate your forts and assassinate your nobles anytime you go to war. So this was inspired by two things. The first was actually a YouTuber called Ratajraf, who has been making a little bit of Emperor of the Fading Suns content, quite good actually as well. I'll provide a link here, but he had posted a video where he was dealing with a whole bunch of spies and assassins trying to do just that, kill his noblemen in the fort. So I think he just had spies to deal with. But I did include the upgraded versions as well to play around with that. And then also it was inspired by, I believe it was episode 17 of my Let's Play, where I cleared the ruins and fought the dervishes and the warlocks and tuned them up with a bunch of tanks. And that's kind of what made me realize just how much the turn order matters, and particularly the combat order, where the round order of precedence and everything like that. Because if you can kill these guys in the direct phase, they're only really dangerous in close combat. And so if you can kill them before that happens, you're a lot more or at least heavily damage them before that happens, you're a lot more likely to have everybody survive than if you're trying to fight them in close combat. Because when he was setting up his defenses, he used a lot of tracker legions, which I have some in here, have a pretty good, they're high accuracy and reasonable damage, but it's close phase, right? Whereas you want, ideally, I think, to be fighting in the direct phase. So what I've done is I've gone through to each of the different forts here and given them an assortment of units that sort of tick that box. Because the other thing to keep in mind too is spies' big defense is their agility, right? And it's the same deal with the doppelgangers and the assassins as well. They've got high agility, low armor. So like these guys are Atavestites, who are like the fight all the things guys, and even they only have 11 armor. Whereas like these guys, again, assassins 11 armor, doppelgangers 11 armor. So you don't need a high strength attack to do a lot of damage, because you have the decreasing efficiency as strength increases above armor, at least until you hit 7 or 8 times, right? Like a ratio of 7 or 8 to 1. So like if you had a strength of 70 versus the armor of 11, then, or armor of 10, which would be the default, then that can cause some real problems. Or a strength of 80 versus the armor of 10. That can also really hurt. But other than that, just getting up to like a 2-to-1 ratio is kind of ideal. And so what I was thinking is that units like Special Forces would actually be surprisingly useful as bodyguards, because they've got a high accuracy of 7, plus you get the noble bonus, right? And so that gets them up to 9. That gives them a 50-50 chance to actually hit a special force, or to hit a spy. And then they do 10 damage. So they're still quite likely to hurt the spy that's attacking them quite significantly. So this is what I built up for Li Halan here, is kind of the idea being, this would be what you'd use in the early game, right? Where you've still got your 3 power legions because everybody pulls their power legion, 2 power legions off to go and do other things. But then you usually sort of abandon the other 3 on Byzantium Secundus for quite a while. Added a couple spies just because they're in the back line, so they're going to take hits for the noble. They're at a higher rank or a lower rank than the noble. Sorry, got a text there. But yeah, so these guys are, they'll duel the other guys ideally before they actually hit your noble, who's sitting back at rank 8, and just keep them alive. So yeah, that's Li Halan. And then Hazat I tried to set up with sort of some really basic stuff, just sort of see how it does. With the Ducados, I wasn't really sure what to do with these guys, so I gave them some power legions and dervishes, mainly just to see what the heck happens. Because the thing with dervishes is because they're rank 7, they'll eat hits for the noble too. And their psi attack is no joke. Like, once they actually get this off, it will melt whoever they're up against. So that'll be helpful. And then with Hawkwood, I gave them shock legions. Again, they've got a high direct attack, and that does considerable damage. And then I also gave them the direwolf, so the upgraded anti-tank guns, which it'd be really funny if anti-tank guns actually turned out to be like some of the best bodyguard units in the game, but it seems like that's how the combat mechanics would work. Gave them a couple special forces just to keep the spot value high. And yeah, over in here I went for elite units, so this would be much more late game. We got cyber legions and assault legions. Assault legions I think are probably the best option you have for bodyguards, simply because of that 8 accuracy, 80 strength direct attack. So yeah, let's put I'm going to put a quick cut in here. Also, I deleted all of the units off of the home worlds and stuff like that, just to keep it simple and keep the focus on Byzantium. But because totally just designed this as a sandbox, not as an actual game. So I will also make it available. I'll put the save file, like the galaxy file and the scenario, up on Google Drive or something like that. So you can link to that if you want to play with it yourself. And also, I'll make sure to link Ratajraf's YouTube channel, because yeah, he's got some cool stuff going on there. And always nice to see more people streaming this. So I'll catch you over in the actual game. Okay, so here we are on Byzantium Secundus as Li Halan. I just set it up very quickly. Everybody's on Ridiculous. I left Universal Warehouse on just so I wasn't having to worry about food and stuff like that, though I did include food still in the forts, so that it can make sense if you're playing this with Warehouse off as well. And yeah, let's see how our spies do. You can't actually reach Hawkwood. Ooh. You reach Hawkwood? You can't reach Hawkwood. Let's see how our spies do against Ducados here. We'll run in, and we will attack Ducados. All these guys still hidden. They have some hidden units too. The dervishes. Let's see how this goes. See, the power legions are doing a lot of damage in this direct phase. And we're not getting much. Yeah, so doing pretty decent here. So you can see we did almost lose our noble though. So enough attacks were getting through that our noble very nearly died. Didn't lose any other units, but the noble definitely got kind of messed up. So probably not a great defense. just for fun, these guys are really elite. Let's see what happens if they go up against
Unit spotted. Unit spotted.
all of this nonsense. See how this goes. Okay, so those Salt Legions are definitely messing things up. The other nice thing too is we've done a bunch of damage to them already, so they're going to do less damage on the attack. And this is a serious stack, right? Like, oh, they did get the noble though, so this is a fail state. Okay, so we had 3 doppelgangers survive but run away, but we did lose our noble, so that is not ideal. Okay, let's end Li Halan's turn since I don't think you can actually go and do much of anything else. Let's go into the Hazat.
The Hazat.
I'll pick Lazarus. Not going to research anything. Everybody's at war. A noble from House Al-Malik has been assassinated. Uh-oh. Okay, so let's see here. What happens if we go in with a stack of spies against this? See how it goes. Lots of hidden units. So you can see how much more damage the tank killers do, right? Like those first 4 hit But the other thing too is I have a big enough backlog that very few attacks are actually making it through to hit my noble, which is good. Definitely chewing through their spies pretty effectively here, and the noble is still standing. Still at 50% health. So my special forces are starting to get kind of messed up. These tanks are performing very well. So I lost both my officers. Noble survived, but with very little health. So, yeah, I just wanted to show this off. It does kind of speak to the power of the map editor as well, right? Because you've got a lot of different possibilities to sort of tweak these units and adjust them around and plan out like, okay, what do I actually need to keep my noble alive? I suspect that probably having more in the back line, having more officers, maybe fewer special forces, more officers, more tank killers would probably be a really good option. Because those tank killers were definitely doing some clobbering, which is pretty awesome. The other thing too is because these guys have an armor of 11, that actually makes the special forces quite a bit less efficient with their their direct value of strength of 10. Because now it's no longer a 1-to-1 ratio, it is a 1-to-2 ratio. So they get 10 attack versus what is effectively 20 armor for the spies because of that one additional point. So keep that in mind as well, that some of the house bonuses, and it's because these guys are Avestites, right? They get the bonus armor on account of their religion. So something to keep in mind as well, that actually increases their survivability quite a bit against the special forces. But my noble survived, so that's good. Anyhow, like I said, I thought this was a interesting way to sort of sandbox around and play with this and see how it goes, but I will upload the files and give a link to the other fellow's YouTube channel there, and yeah, please go give the guy some views. He just a couple of days ago uploaded a video where he does sort of an update on the game that he's playing. He's into, can't remember what year he is, but he's probably about 60 or 70 turns into the game, and so it's always nice to see how other people are approaching it. So that is all for this episode, though, or for this thing, whatever it is. I'm not even sure what to call it, but I will catch you guys next time. Cheers.